Welcome to Squadron ScaleWorkshop. My name is Brett Green. Last week we took a look at Tamiya's brand new 1/72 scale Messerschmitt Bf 109 G6 in the box. This week we're going to take a look at how to build it. Assembly commences in the cockpit. Here we can see the cockpit floor and rear bulkhead part, the seat bucket and the control column. As usual, the cockpit parts are built up in layers. All the parts on the cockpit floor can be seen in place in this photo. A view from the other side. Detail here is amazing for 1/72 scale. The firewall has an interesting arrangement where the rudder pedals are actually moulded in place. The instrument panel is also glued directly to this firewall assembly. A number of separately moulded detail parts are added to the cockpit sidewalls, including the oxygen gear, the throttle and the fuel line. The shiny and slightly pebbly finish that we see here is a result of my excesses with the liquid glue. It actually is fine once it's painted over. And here is the cockpit sidewall detail on the port side. Attach the cockpit subassemblies to a small cardboard box using blue tack to make it easier to paint. The base coat that I'm using here is Tamiya XF24 dark grey. I left the fuselage halves attached to their sprue during initial assembly and painting. This makes handling much easier. Here we can see the sidewalls dry brushed with a paler shade of grey. Next up, a wash which was a mix of water, future floor polish and black paint was applied liberally to the sidewalls. The other cockpit subassemblies received the same treatment of the dry brush and a wash. Tamiya supplies decal harness straps and also instrument dials. I decided though to use Eduard's Luftwaffe World War II steel harness straps as a replacement for the Tamiya decal items. These are wonderfully detailed and they're very easy to use. The kit dial decals were also easy to use and look quite convincing on the kit instrument panel. The pilot's stowage bin behind his head was painted while it was still on the sprues as well. Sidewall details were picked out with acrylic paints. I used a combination of Vallejo acrylic and also Tester Model Master enamels for the metallic colours. The starboard sidewall with its throttle quadrant and the outer trim wheel. The inner trim wheel is actually connected to the tub of the fuselage, as we can see here. This is just test fitted at this stage, but the detail really is extraordinary. Here's a little reminder that all of this fantastic detail really is in 1/72 scale. The fuselage halves joined perfectly, no gaps whatsoever. The main cockpit tub assembly is inserted through a hole in the bottom of the fuselage, but not before the three specific Bf 109 G6 cowling parts are attached to the kit nose. Here they are in place, with the supercharger intake ready for assembly. The bottom cowl is also a separate piece, with the radiator faces inserted. And here's the cockpit tub inserted into the fuselage. Once again, fit is perfect. Quite a bit of detail can still be seen through the fuselage opening. The tail assembly is a perfect fit. No gaps whatsoever. You just need to watch out for some of the sprue attachments that are raised on some of the mating surfaces. Once they've been taken care of though, the fit of the wings is as good as everything else. Here are the completed fuselage and wings ready to be brought together. There is not a spot of putty that has been used on this kit. A view of the model almost ready and for paint from below. The propeller assembly can rotate thanks to a polythene cap. And here it is test fitted to the nose of the aircraft. The undercarriage will be very positive and a strong fit thanks to the engineering. You see how long the attachment points are here. Once these are glued in place on the bottom of the wing, they're covered by this panel. Masking is never my favourite job, and in 70-second scale it's even less appealing, but it's certainly worth the effort. Here's the model ready for paint, and the lower side as well. I'll make sure that we have some gallery photos in HyperScale once I've completed the painting. Here's a little sneak peek of where I'm up to with painting so far. Once again, you just have to remind yourself this really is 1/72nd scale. Check out the fidelity and finesse of the surface detail. It's just beautiful.